Imagine you get the call, it's 9 o'clock in the morning and a building's collapsed on Waterloo Station. As the emergency services, this is what you'd be faced with. So behind us is a replica, so simulated mock-up of what Waterloo Station looks like. So the simulation exercise begins. This is their only point of access and exit from the disaster scene. Everyone is, the casualties are stretchered out of here and then taken to hospital or triage, or if they are dead, they're taken to the mortuary. So it all happens here. Behind us are all the control centres, so you've got control centres for London Fire Brigade, for the ambulance, for the victim identification. I'm here to advise the Rotherham College on their simulation moulage effects, and I currently work at Rotherham Hospital as the simulation lead. So Rotherham College are here behind me. You can see the makeup artists. They are recreating quite severe injuries and wounds on these actors who are going to take part in the event shortly. So we're going to have a chat to them in a few minutes.
Just layering it up, really. You see how it just takes it a bit softer.
So we've got, for this casualty, we've got a chest injury, a splenic injury and dehydrated. So quite sick, you can see there from his vitals.
So has it got a dark spot or is it still patchy?
It's almost as if you've had an injury there and it's bled underneath the skin. So you've got some internal bleeding.
Right. You ready?
Let's go for it.
Go for it. How are you feeling being an actor in it? Is it your first day? We're on day 4 at the moment.
No, day 4. And it's just, I'm an ambulance crewman from east of England, so I'm actually learning what it's like to be
so
the other
really
side.
Ambulance.
No, I'm really ambulance
also
crew.
you'll be able to chat.
Yeah.
I like it when we've got some specialists there.
Amber stuck this silicone prosthetic on and I'm just filling it in for a deep laceration. I'm putting the blood on so it makes it look realistic, but we've also mixed charcoal powder into the blood so that it looks a bit thicker because of how long they would have been in the train at that time.
It's been amazing. Normally we just do like productions and local pantomimes, so this is like loads different, but it's just great to have the experience. Really enjoying it.
How many more? 3, 1. Emily, can you do multiple fractures, please?
This all started by making a link with Jenny Swift at the Rotherham Hospital. We started doing work in the NHS simulation department, making the mannequins more realistic. Working under pressure, the students had to get simulation, they had to get the rooms realistic, they had to make sure they got them done within really tight time constraints, and they had the opportunity of medics telling them that the wounds, etc. were realistic and anatomically correct. With that experience, the Rotherham College won the OAC, the Association of Colleges Beacon Award for practical teaching, practical learning. So it was a big UK sort of event, and that was selected because of the work the students do in industry with the NHS and all their practical teaching.
When they come up to me like, oh, we've got this, and I'm like, oh my god, what's that? And they just have to kind of like just figure it out, but it's alright. Like, really enjoyed it.
I thought it'd be a great opportunity for all the students to get involved at Rotherham College, because this is what we've been doing at the hospital and things, you know, making wounds realistic, and it's been an absolutely amazing experience for us all. We've worked very hard, we've worked amazing as a team. We've been really busy, we've been at Guinness Book of Records for the most casualties on an exercise, which were 1,500 casualties, and it's just been amazing, an amazing experience to be hands-on just here and doing it. It's just been fantastic.
I will.
Slide as well, with massive slides.
Wow, it is. Gosh.
find my footing. It is. It kind of needs you there to just put things into perspective.
Yeah.
We have actors lining up behind us, ready for makeup, getting ready to have the makeup done for the next stage of the scenario, so going into the carriages. What they keep doing is just keep, when the paramedics and the fire crew sort of solve a problem, get people out, they'll put more casualties in, and that's what we're seeing here, casualties getting ready to be made up to go into the scenario. So we're just about to go into train number 6, which is the vertigo train. This is the one where 1 in 7 are going to feel really nauseated and unwell, and that's for real, so that's the actors. So again, we're working with the London Fire Brigade, the London Ambulance Service, and we're going up there.
Sorry? They've got to check that they would have to stabilise it. They would have to stabilise it. Because although it's stable, i.e. for the exercise, it's...
Oh, so they've got to stabilise it. Okay,
And the youths are just trying to stabilise the carriage so they can get people out. And we've got our casualties here, some of which are in the service as well, some trainee paramedics. One unfortunate chap here is going for straight to DVI when he's out of here, which is the Victim Identification Unit. So we're hoping to be rescued soon. Oh look, they're looking through the window. Come on!
Why aren't you helping us? We can
Help! Right, the window, drag it down.
I've got somebody's legs there on a stretcher. So again, these are the control centres of the exercise. So you've got the command unit for the fire service, you've got emergency control for the underground. So here we've got a makeup artist recreating compartment syndrome. So if you can just talk us through how you're recreating this. So it's a fracture to the leg. Obviously the blood supply's been damaged, hasn't it? So we've got to try and recreate that the foot's cold and got a loss of blood supply.
Yeah, so I've just had to like peel it out so it looks as though there's no blood going to her foot. A bit of blue to make it look numb, because obviously we can't get rid of her pulse.
Yeah. So yeah, we've made it, and then the fractures in this area here, you've done it. They're not the actors' real clothes, are they? They're from the charity shop, so they've got a whole bank of charity shop clothes.
And it's been really good for our students because they've been able to buddy up with these, they've worked with different products, they've used different techniques, they've gained so much more experience by working with that company. And what's nice with this company, they employ freelance makeup artists, so for our students they've actually gained employment options if ever they get asked to do any events up north. So that's absolutely brilliant for our students to have been introduced to another makeup company.
Okay, so I'm Adrian Clee. I'm from the Salvation Army and in charge of organising our stuff here. Salvation Army supports the London Fire Brigade on any large fires, that 10 pumps or more. So they've asked us to be involved with this. Been here all 4 days. They told us it'd be 650 responders first day. It's probably about 1,200, and it's been very, very similar. But we've been getting through about 2,500 bacon rolls a day. Loads of coffee, tea, chocolate, everything like that.
My role is purely London, but the Salvation Army have a number of sort of what we call memorandum of understanding with other fire brigade services up and down the country. So it really depends on county by county. London tends to be a little bit of a unique area. It's very different to the rest of the country, mainly because you've got your 33 London boroughs and they're all like small councils on their own, etc.
So here you can see the benefits of simulation. So you've got all professionals, you've got the fire brigade, you've got the ambulance, you've got overseas, you've got USAR, and they're using simulation, so this method of training to improve their practice and their sort of service. So we're using it in healthcare, not to the scale at the moment, but hopefully we can do this. But you can see they're all simulating, they're all role playing, they're all given briefs, they're all trying to problem solve, use these human factors of situation awareness, decision making, communication, teamwork, leadership, everything that was to teach the human factors, the simulation aspect, you can see in action here.
These are on day 2, so the bruises aren't as red anymore, so we've got more browns and greens. They're all the bruises.
I am painting the brain. This guy has had his head cracked open and his brain's being exposed. So what I've done is gone round all the crevices first to deepen them, and then I'm going to go over that with a lighter colour. So what I'm doing at the minute is just putting red around where the injury, where the main crack would have happened, just to disguise the line.
So haven't you had to recreate this effect before?
No, this is the first time I've ever done a brain, so.
We've had various medical students, doctors, and they're giving us feedback constantly about the wounds. They're actually praising the students. We're getting feedback on Twitter, on social media, and everyone's been really nice and very patient, very professional. And the students have been interviewed by all these dignitaries from Europe.
We just wanted to say, I know we've banked you a couple of times over the past couple of days, but I'm aware that you're off soon and you're getting on a boat imminently. Could not have done this exercise full stop without you. You know, there's loads and loads of important people who've contributed to this, but you're absolutely right up there. People have complimented us on the levels of realism, and that means your levels of realism. You know, throughout the exercise, it's been really evident in the media coverage we've had. So I'm hoping, Colin, we can send something on with the media links. So I imagine that'll be helpful to you for your portfolios, your CPD, all of that. So the work you've done has been seen across, I think it's about 25 different news organisations, been watched by 50 million people in Brazil. You know, absolutely unbelievable coverage, and a lot of the tweets and the kind of postings we've seen have reflected on the realism of the makeup and the effect that you've created. So, you know, if we ever run another one, we'll be on the phone, without a doubt. But I've got another one in me.